I've got a client that is a city outside of my normal Texarkana area, and when I talked to them initially, they were complaining that they were spending like $2,500 a month on 5 locations doing telecom, which would include internet and phones. And they felt like they were overpaying, but every time they talked to the vendor would just push them off and say, "Oh, you know, you're paying what you should be, and we're not overcharging you, and you've got exactly what you need." So when I started looking at their invoices, I noticed they had 3 internet connections at one location. And so as I looked more into that, what I found out was that in January of this year, they had added a fiber connection. Well, they had a couple of small DSL connections initially, and when they added the fiber, the DSL connections didn't go away, but they should have. So when the client tried to get all that fixed, the provider said, no, you're good. You know, these connections are needed, and you're using them, and all that kind of stuff. So I realized that there was an opportunity to get those off of the billing, but not only that, there was an opportunity to get back some costs that they had paid, because these were services that they no longer needed, and actually they weren't even using. So over a period of about 6 weeks, I worked with the vendor's tech people on site, and I got 3 different tech guys to document the file to prove that these 2 DSL connections, which should have been terminated back in January, weren't in use, they weren't connected, and there was no value to the client. So once I got the file documented, then I went back to the billing department, and we were able to not only get those DSL connections off of the invoice, but we got 6 months of billing back. During the same time, we were able to, they had upsold them a 10 meg fiber, which had 10,000 minutes of long distance, and they were using about 135 minutes a month. So they didn't need anywhere near that. They had recently implemented a DSL program where they could get 100 by 8 meg, and so what we ended up doing was we moved a circuit that was costing them about $1,100 a month, and we switched it with a DSL 100 by 8, and their bill went down to $180 a month, as well as getting rid of the 2 DSL bills. So that was pretty cool, and after that they were loving it, and they so now they call me for everything. Anytime that there's a problem, they're calling me, and I'm able to deal with it, and so I'm really able to save them the time, and clearly I've saved them the money. They feel like they're getting real value added, as well as they are secure in the knowledge that they're only paying what they need to pay.